Hey guys, MSTY, HOOY, and CONY had big days today, and I just wanted to do a quick little video just to show the movements that we've seen in the past week. Hello my friends, this is Legend. We're going to talk about MSTY, CONY, and HOOY, and we'll also take a look at PLTY. So we have MSTY pulled up right here, and you can see it's had a nice little pop up. We've went from around this $11 to $12 range right here to now we're sitting at $14.40. We moved up 5.3% just today. And since Friday, we've went up about 20% on MSTY. Now, to really understand where those resistance and support lines are on MSTY, we have to take a look at MSTR. So here's MSTR, and you can see that chart very similar, right? Now, we had this resistance line right here, and we had it at about 101.05 for MSTR. And you can see on the 19th, we actually popped past it. And then both Thursday and Friday have moved up way past that 101.05. MSTR is now sitting at 119. And if we scroll back here, let's see if we can draw in another support or resistance line just to see if the area that we're at right now, are we sitting at a resistance or a support line. So if we go right over here, you can see that about right here is a bit of a support line as it was before we broke down below it. And now you can see it did come up on that Thursday and actually tapped that line and then popped right past it. So hopefully now this 114 can be a support line on MSTR. And if we can keep that above 114 and have it moving on up, then of course we're going to see the same results on MSTY. Because on MSTR we saw about a 6.1% move up just today. And on MSTY we saw 5.34%. What a nice move, right? I'm super excited about that. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin to see if that also rose up, and that is what maybe and hopefully pushed MSTY and MSTR on up as well. And here we are on Bitcoin, and you can see I had a resistance line right here at this 64.7, and we can scroll on back and you can see it was just coming up, tapping it, and it might slip past it just slightly before getting pushed back under. And then around July, toward the end of July, we did slip up past it, but yet again got pushed right back down below that 64.7. And you can see we have been under it for quite a while, right? Until Wednesday, where we ended up popping past it. And it opened at 64.2 and it ended up closing at 69.1K. Then, of course, on Thursday, it was still on a run. We went from an opening of a 69.1 and a close of 74.4, and it still was moving because Friday, it opened at 74.4, and it is still running, and it's currently at 78.1. Now, I had some previous supports and resistance lines in here, and you can see we have broke up past this 77.7 resistance line that I have here, and we are actually coming back up to test this 79.5. And if we slide over, you can see right there that was a little bit of a support before we broke down below it, and that was around May of this year. And now we are moving right back up, and one could say that we're filling that gap, right? It did drop, stayed low for quite a while, trade sideways, and now we are popping right back up to where we were at before. Would love to see it stay here and keep moving up. And another one that had a nice move today was HOOY. And you can see that HOOY on Thursday closed at 25.48, and today it actually opened at 26.36 before closing at 27.96. What a move on HOOY. Now, of course, HOOY is one that I am down on in my high yield stock tracker sheet, but you'll see that coming up in my next video when I enter in my distributions and update that spreadsheet. Now it is still currently red, but with this move up, I'm not down as much as I was. And don't forget, every distribution, I am able to drop that real price per share. And like I said before, if that price of that stock moves up, then that gap between my real price per share and the actual price of that stock gets smaller and smaller. And hopefully and eventually, the price of the stock is above my real price per share, and then my summary page will flip it from red to green. And I am looking forward to that. So keep on going, HOOY. And how about CONY? Look at CONY. Goodness gracious, this thing popped up very nice since Wednesday. Now this one here, I believe, has moved up because of the move up on Bitcoin. Because you can see on the 19th of this month, that's when we had that nice pop up right there, right? We've got a nice big green candle. And then we jumped on Thursday and then jumped on Friday. And if we look on Bitcoin right here, you can see same thing. Up, 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 and away, right? Bitcoin is still rising. So CONY, of course, I believe is moving up right along with Bitcoin. A very nice move up. And I'm super excited. And just like on HOOY, I continue to lower my real price per share by capturing those distributions. But when the price of that stock moves up, that gap between my real price per share and the actual price of that stock gets smaller. And therefore, the price of that stock doesn't have to move up as much because I continue to lower my real price per share. And eventually, the goal is the price of the stock to be above my real price per share. But I won't stop there, as I will continue to lower that real price per share, because my ultimate goal is to get it down to zero of my capital invested. And all I'm doing is capturing those distributions and deploying that money where I so choose. And since coin is the underlying of CONY, let's take a look to see if it looks very similar. And you can see right there, there's coin, and it has been somewhat trading sideways down here, bouncing off of this 147.3 line that we had right there as a support line. And we had a resistance line, which was a previous support line over here, right? But that resistance line was at 159.6. And you can see it actually ended up stopping right close to that resistance line. But Thursday, since Bitcoin was moving on up, Coinbase moved on up as well. And it just jumped right up to that next resistance line. And that resistance line was at 174. And it tapped it before getting pulled down just slightly and closing under that resistance line. But since Bitcoin was continuing to move up, it jumped right over that resistance line again. And now Coinbase opened today at 180.06 and closed at 186.49. And that's an 8.2% move on coin. And you can see it did get up to about that resistance line right there of 193 before getting pushed back down. But as we've seen on Bitcoin, it's still moving up. So come Monday, if Bitcoin keeps moving up, I can see Coinbase making another leap. And as I stated, coin jumped 8.2% today, and CONY jumped 6.99% today. What a nice move that we've had over the last couple of days. And I really think it all has to do with the move on Bitcoin right here. This one has just been moving up, which of course has moved up both Mr., MSTY, HOOY, and CONY. Love to see it. And the last one we're going to take a look at just real quick is PLTY. And you can see here's PLTY, and it has been moving up, right? Toward about the end of July, we were sitting at about $27 range, and it had that nice pop up. And now it has been moving up quite steadily, right? It's been cooling off a little bit and then moving back up. and then cooling down a little bit, and now it's starting to move back up again. So we're now sitting at 38.16 on the day, which is a 3% move on a Friday. Love it and love to see it. And what makes it even better is we do earn those distributions. And you can see on PLTY, we'll get 72 cents for PLTY. And not too bad because it came out of this candle right here. But what did it do on Friday? We had a move up. So we have already recovered that payout for that distribution and then some. We moved up $1.11 today, which more than covers that 72 cents in distribution. Love to see it, and I can't wait to update my spreadsheet to find out where I currently sit and how much closer I am to getting CONY and HOOY back into the green. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button and smash the like button, as it would be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, Legend out.